Have you ever wondered if the terrifying world of Attack on Titan could actually be real? Well, it is. Shiganshina really exists in Germany, and Walsina in France. But wait, there's more. In this video, we'll dive deep into the mysterious origins of Attack on Titan and explore the shocking parallels between our world and the world of Attack on Titan. And trust me, the Attack on Titan world is much closer to ours than you think.
They're the same picture.
From the Tyburs to Armbands for discrimination, everything has roots in the real world. So stick to the end to discover the hidden connections between Attack on Titan and real events. We're talking about heavy stuff like the Holocaust and anti-Semitism. Yep, it seems like the creators of Attack on Titan took inspiration from the darkest corners of our own history. Who needs a sci-fi imagination when reality itself can be just as terrifying? And yeah, I mean it, it's terrifying. Just keep watching and you will see. Speaking of seeing, you have seen the show, right? Okay, if you've somehow managed to live under a rock for the past decade, let me bring you up to speed. Attack on Titan, created by the genius Hajime Isayama, is an action-packed, dark fantasy anime that'll make your jaw drop faster than the Titan devouring Eren's mom. It follows the adventures of Eren Yeager, Mikasa Ackerman, and Armin Arlet in a post-apocalyptic world where humankind hides behind walls, fending off giant humanoid titans. But it is not as simple as it sounds. It seems like there's been a huge conspiracy behind it. The reason? Racism and caste discrimination are, just like in our real world. If you dive deeper into the hidden message behind Attack on Titan, you'll find that this masterpiece is nothing but a reflection of our society. It seems Isayama took it straight from our real world. The inspiration behind the popular series Attack on Titan originated when Isayama moved to Tokyo. During his student days, he had a keen interest in physical education and combat sports. However, he often felt self-conscious about his slender physique. Despite repeatedly participating in sumo tournaments, he was easily eliminated by larger kids. This realization made him feel inferior, but it also sparked a deep desire within him to change his own body. This desire for transformation serves as a central theme in Attack on Titan, embodied by the determined protagonist, Eren Yeager. When Eren's hometown is attacked by the Titans for the second time, he discovers a hidden ability within himself. He transforms into one of the Titans, leveling the playing field and making the fight somewhat fairer. This concept came to Isayama when he experienced a particular incident while working at a late-night internet cafe in the bustling city of Tokyo. During that incident, a tourist, dissatisfied with the service, grabbed Isayama angrily by the collar. This encounter left a deep impact on the creator, as he felt the fear of being unable to communicate with another person. This fear and frustration were channeled into his creative work, giving birth to the gripping narrative of Attack on Titan. But can we say that Isayama's work is way ahead of its time? Let's go back to history and analyze whether we should be aware of any near-apocalyptic days. In the future, the Titans may be coming for us. The Marleyan society instilled a troubling belief into the minds of its people, that all Eldians living outside the city were inherently impure and wicked and therefore needed to be eradicated. This strategy of demonizing an entire race of people bears similarities to how the Nazis brainwashed a significant portion of Germany's population, turning them against the Jewish community. Rather than presenting an objective historical account, the Marleyans revised their history to portray the Eldians as nothing but malevolent demons. This deliberate manipulation of information effectively tarnished the reputation of the Eldians. The propaganda was so deeply ingrained within the Eldians' minds that some, like Reiner and Gabby, took extreme measures to demonstrate their loyalty to the Marleyan cause. As a result, this propaganda successfully created a division among the Eldians, pitting them against one another, reminiscent of how Jewish people were coerced into betraying their own people to stay in favor of the Nazis. In both real-life history and the fictional universe of Attack on Titan, there were groups of individuals who wielded great power and influence and were spared from the exploitation that their less fortunate people endured. The Tyburs, a rich Eldian family, controlled the events and were exempt from certain regulations in the series. Similarly, thanks to their powers and riches, some Jews were able to avoid ill treatment throughout Nazi Germany. This is one of the most precise parallels between the two. The underlying message conveyed in this fictional scenario serves as a reminder of the real-world consequences of prejudice, propaganda, and the dangers of indoctrinating people to hate and harm others based on their race or ethnicity. It is essential to recognize the significance of promoting empathy, understanding, and unity to foster a more tolerant and inclusive society. All Eldians were forced to wear special armbands as a visual indication of their Eldian origin by Marleyan society. These armbands not only recognized them but also helped to separate the populace into ghettos. Removing these armbands was unlawful, symbolizing the terrible reality that the Eldians endured under Marleyan control. We may draw historical parallels between this practice and the events of World War II, when the Nazis ordered Jews to wear identical identifying headbands. However, Attack on Titan expanded on this premise by demonstrating that there were no physical distinctions between Eldians and Marleyans. Blood tests were used to differentiate between the two, showing the Eldians' methodical discrimination. The story reflects the existence of anti-miscegenation laws within Marleyan society. These laws aim to preserve the so-called purity of the Marleyan bloodline, forbidding any relationships or procreation between Eldians and Marleyans. Reiner's father's anger at the idea of an intimate relationship between himself and Reiner's Eldian mother highlight the severity of these laws. Such relationships were considered a serious offense and could lead to severe consequences, even execution. Reiner's parents' painful decision to live separately due to societal pressures demonstrates the emotional toll these laws had on families. Reiner's mother's regret at not being born a Marleyan shows the yearning for acceptance and equality, suggesting that life might have been different for Reiner if such discriminatory practices did not exist. Apart from World War II, manga creator Hajime Isayama draws inspiration from various sources, including real-life cultural aspects. One such example is the wall depicted in the story, which reflects elements of Japanese culture. Japan, being an island nation, has physical borders that set it apart from the rest of the world. This geographical isolation has historically led to a sense of being cut off from external influences. Similarly, the Japanese people are often seen as self-sufficient and tend to keep to themselves, reinforcing a sense of enclosure. Therefore, the wall in the manga represents both self-imposed and location-imposed isolation. When the characters in the story overcome this metaphorical wall of fear, it becomes a relatable aspect for viewers. It resonates with them because it symbolizes breaking free from internal barriers and confronting challenges, making the show more appealing. The prevalence of class politics within the wall is another real-life element in the manga. 350-meter barriers split human habitation into distinct groups. The affluent and powerful live behind all three barriers, giving them more access to a safer existence. The impoverished, on the other hand, live within sight of murderous titans, exposing them to more risk and misery. Hajime Isayama produces a story that engages viewers on numerous levels by combining aspects of real-life cultural markers and societal systems, making Attack on Titan an engaging and thought-provoking experience. As our world continues to evolve, it is no secret that technology is evolving at a rapid pace, which might be frightening to some. Artificial intelligence is one such discovery that has piqued the interest of many, generating fears about its potential to control different parts of our lives, even displacing people. Speculations of a future in which robots rule and control abound, creating an ominous image. Furthermore, the emergence of bioweapons contributes to the rising anxiety. Some conspiracy theorists have even suggested that the terrible COVID-19 virus was caused by a bioweapon, heightening concern about the potential horrors these weapons may unleash. In the show Attack on Titan, we witness the strong Marleyans injecting chemicals into the Eldians, converting them into massive and deadly titans. Although this is a work of fiction, it raises the subject of what may happen in our own world. As we saw, the themes of this anime, such as racism, prejudice, and propaganda, recall memories of historical events such as the Holocaust and anti-Semitism. The separation of society within the walls clearly resembles class politics, as if this brilliant anime is working as a mirror of our society. But do you think Attack on Titan is showing us the imminent apocalypse? Concerns about capitalism's ambitions for global dominance have already had an influence on economies, prompting some to predict a coming catastrophe. The combination of these unpleasant circumstances may lead one to question if, one day, we are awakened to the sight of huge giants staring into our cities, which will definitely scare the hell out of us. So be ready, the Titans may be coming, but not in the same form.